Hi, welcome to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jaime McFaden, and I'm so excited to have you here. This podcast is about all things wellness. Each week, we will focus on a word of the day, and I interview some of the most inspirational people I know and share that inspiration with you. Join me, let's learn together on What's the Word.
This is the place where I belong.
Hi, welcome to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jaime McFaden, and this podcast is about all things wellness. Each week, we focus on a word of the day, and we'll give some tips that you can utilize that word to help change your life for the better. To kick it off today, we actually have two words today, peace and productivity. And I am so thrilled and excited to introduce one of, by far, my favorite yoga instructors in the entire world, Jade Alexis, yoga instructor and badass mama bear who I have the privilege of working together with on Aptive. Welcome, Jade. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. Such an honor and a pleasure to be here.
So we're going to jump right into this one. Tell me, when I asked you what word resonated with you, you sent back to me and said, basically right away, peace and productivity. So let's just jump in and dive in. What does that mean to you, and how is that resonating with you right now?
So, first of all, I wrote back right away and said, I need two words.
Yeah, she did.
One is not enough.
I was like, okay, no one's ever asked that, but let's do it. Let's give it a shot.
You know what? If you don't ask, you don't get, right? You always have to ask. So, and that also speaks to the peace, right? Just connecting with how you authentically feel in a given moment. I didn't want to get locked into one word when I had two words. So peace and productivity, those have been big for me the last 6 months as we go through COVID. Also, the last 3 years as I've gotten out of an abusive marriage through a horrible divorce. I have a daughter, as you know, a 4-year-old daughter. And I've had to maintain peace and maintain productivity. And I feel like the two balance themselves out, right? I'm a yoga instructor. It's all about balance, right? If you're at peace, then you can be productive, right? If you're stressed out, you're anxious, and you're just a mess here, you're not going to be as productive as you could be. So I've chosen those two words for me, and I say them inside my mind many times a day. and share them with others, because I really do think that they're two great words for now or for any time in our lives.
Absolutely. And, for anyone listening or watching right now, I personally wasn't always into yoga myself. And once I started to get into yoga and find that relationship with yoga and breath and peace and really being able to be productive and having that peace, it led me actually at one point to you. And now how many times have I written to you saying, oh my gosh, that 10 minutes, even if it was 10 minutes of breath work with you or doing a meditation with you, there has been something so sensational and phenomenal internally that then resonates externally with myself alone, which is why I wanted to interview you today. And so now with anyone that's listening right now, what are some tips or things that you can share when in regards to peace and productivity? How can one be, more peaceful or more productive?
Okay, great questions. So it's a interesting question because it might be unique to each of us, right? So how do you find peace? Is it having a quiet time to drink your cup of coffee in the morning? Is it waking up and doing your yoga practice before anything else? Or is it sitting down and playing with your kids, right? So throughout the day, just find ways to input peace in, right? Make it part of your daily routine. But on top of that, how do we go deeper, right? Because how can we be at peace in those moments, drinking the coffee, playing with the kids, if we're stressed out? And that's why I'm a huge fan and advocate of meditation practice, whether it's just a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, slowly. Doing that organically calms your central nervous system, whether it's press and record on a meditation and sit in for 5 minutes, listening to a voice through a guided session. Or maybe you do something more dynamic, right? You could do a yoga nidra when you actually lie down on your back and close your eyes and take a journey for 15, 20 minutes or more. But once we have peace in the mind, then we can be more productive, right? Because we're not worried and stressed out about all these things. So my tips, yeah, choose what works for you, whether it's a 5-minute meditation, whether it's, you know what, I need to pause right now and take 3 breaths. When I was having my most anxious moments, I would literally stop. This is when I was going through my divorce. I would literally stop on the street. I got a horrible email or text from my ex and practice alternate nostril breathing. I would stop, seal off a nostril, take a deep breath in through my nose, my lungs would fill, and then I would exhale slowly out the other nostril, right? And again, it just instantly calms you. Do you want to try it now? Let's do 1 breath. So just seal off your nostril, take a deep breath in, seal off the other nostril, release the thumb, exhale, and breathe in. Seal it off. Release the finger, exhale, and let go. Right? We didn't even close our eyes, and I'm sure you felt the same calm I did.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? So it's just 1 cycle of breath. So how do you find peace? Just stop. When you feel like you need a moment of peace, take a breath. Take 2 or 3. I guess my other tip would be plan a meditation practice, whether it's in the evening before you go to bed or first thing in the morning. And I will tell you, when I first started this meditation journey, I was not a fan. I did not want to sit still. I did not want to listen. I was that person that got up at the end of a yoga class and left in the shavasana because I did not want to be there. Who has time to be still? Not me.
Right. If anyone's ever tried, because I know I said that to myself too, like, I'm so busy. I don't have time to just lay here. What am I going to take a nap? You know? And now Shavasana is my favorite part, and I meditate daily. And it's interesting how I'm telling you, anyone listening and watching, that even anyone that knows me knows my monkey brain is real, and maybe your monkey brain is real, and to be able to find that calm. So how does one start if you find that you keep having that monkey brain?
You just have to force yourself to do it. Just trust that it's going to work. Trust that it's going to help. It can't hurt, right? It's not going to make you worse. So just trust that. Find a meditation, and just what I did in the beginning, I would just hit play on the meditation at nighttime when I'm already in bed. So I didn't have to justify the time of being still because I was already still. Nice. And I listened to it. And whether or not I listened to the whole thing or whether or not I fidgeted or moved, I just listened to it. And over time, it became something that I was still for. I just evolved into it by just forcing myself to do it. Right? So that's it. Just deciding you want to do it and doing it. Just like going for a run. Running is hard when you first start out, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you make yourself do it? You know that it's going to be worthwhile. You know the results and the benefits. So you schedule a time and you do it. It's hard. It's not easy, but it gets easier. Right? And then you start to love it, and then you start to crave it, and then it starts to become a part of you, and you can't go a day without it. Right. So that's what you have to do with the meditation practice. Just trust that it's going to give you the peace.
Right. Listen to Jade right now, everyone. She is speaking the profound truth. Just do it. Make it a part of your day.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then now, what about the productivity?
So my other favorite word, productivity, because being a mom, sometimes it's overwhelming and it's hard, and especially right now with COVID going on, you have a bazillion things you're juggling at once. The economy is a mess. Our jobs are all over the place, and we have a child at home. Maybe they're in school, maybe not. It's just a lot. So how do you maintain productive? This is something I've struggled with, and why I make it one of my words and part of my mantra. And what I do is I make lists. And there are many different ways to make lists, right? Maybe you have an Excel spreadsheet and you update it, and that doesn't work for me. That's way too much. I'm old school. Post-it note, write down to-do list.
Same.
Update it at the end of the day, get a new one the next day, to-do list. I really think the best way to be productive is to write things down, have a to-do list, and have it for house stuff, work stuff, personal stuff, right? Have multiple to-do lists.
Right.
And knock it out slowly. Maybe you have 5 minutes extra. Look at the list and see what's only going to take 2 minutes, and boom, knock something out. So really, that's my advice on the productivity is list. Write it down, and you're halfway there to getting it done once you've written it down, right?
I love that. And I agree so much. So to recap on what Jade is saying right now, in terms of peace, and she's talking about meditation specifically and yoga and finding your practice. If you're new to this and you're saying, I want to, because I know myself and many others have said, when you first try meditation or yoga, you might not have that perfect synergistic relationship with it. And you might go, I'm resisting it, or how you and I both said we'd get up at Shavasana. So for someone that's listening, start small. Try, adding 5 minutes into your day or something little that you can stick to. We just did a breathing exercise right now that in that 1 minute, I felt immediately more calm. So it's small steps. And then the same with productivity. Write it down. Write whatever kind of a list you can make, whether it is getting a documented Excel spreadsheet and having it, or drawing it out with, I have a friend that does it where she makes pictures for everything because she doesn't like seeing handwriting lists, it stresses her out. So finding something that you can do, because I think for all of us, it feels really darn good to cross something off the list of, I did this, I accomplished this, I said I was going to do it today, and I did it. And that is a good feeling. So thank you for sharing all that with us, because those are gems right there. Now, when it comes to peace, what's something that, because you shared with us, and I think for all of us, we've all gone through tough times, and we all will continue to go through tough times. And that's a real part of life. Even when it can be tough to keep peace, what do you find to be the most important part about why you keep your peace?
So 2 things pop into my mind immediately. One is a gratitude practice. Instantly, anytime something goes wrong, I right away think, you know what? That might suck, but I'm so grateful that this happened, or that I have this, or I might not have that, but I do have that. So just being grateful for what you do have, because we have a lot to be grateful for. So that's one, gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is the mind. Allow the mind to be more positive, negatives to positives. And I've done a lot of work with this. And in my 21-day program, I do a lot of work on this, just training the mind to be more positive. So I'll share a short story that I've shared a few times in the past. About maybe 8 months ago now, I was backing out of a parking spot, and I saw out of the corner of my eye, I was about to crash into this car. And before the car crash happened, it didn't, don't worry. Before it happened, in my head, I thought, this is going to really suck that I have a car crash, but I don't like my car anyway, so this is a perfect opportunity to get a new car. So before the bad thing even happened, I flipped it into a positive. And I paused in that moment. I actually called my brother to tell him what just happened, because he and I have done a lot of the negatives positives together. I was like, I have trained my mind so much that before the bad thing even happened, I already created the positive.
Right.
And so just doing that allows you to be at peace with whatever happened, right? Let's say I did have that car crash. I would have already been at peace because, yay, now I get a new car.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the stress of everything else. Okay, now I'm going to have to spend money. Well, you know what? This is a great opportunity to reorganize my finances, which I've been meaning to do anyways.
Right.
You can always find a positive in every situation. You just have to look for it, right? And how do you get better at doing that? Practicing it every day.
So that right there is the most perfect segue into your 21-day program. So can you share with us, because I know you do this throughout the year a few times, what is your 21-day program and where do we sign up?
Okay, awesome. Another great question. So my program is called Discover Your Truest, Strongest Self. It's 21 days. We all know it takes 21 days to create a habit. And I built this program for women. It's for women only, to help women do exactly that. Find their truth, their truest, find their strength, their strongest self, right? You need it now, you need it later, and whatever is to come. So I took my journey I about 10 years ago, my oldest sister passed away. Sudden, tragic kidney failure. We didn't even know she was sick. Horrible. And it was the worst part, the worst time in my life, the darkest time in my life. And it was hard to wake up in the morning. It was hard to go to sleep at night. And that's when I started my meditation practice. I was already practicing yoga. That's when I started meditation because I needed something. So I did that. And soon after that, my yoga practice evolved into something bigger and better than that because of the meditation. And I continued the two. Okay. So now I have yoga and meditation that got me through this bad time. And it gave me a foundation for what was to come next. I got married. I found out it was an abusive marriage, and I had a child, and I had to get out. I needed to be strong, and I needed to follow my truth. I knew my truth through my meditation practice, and I was strong through it all. So those are the things that got me out of this next thing. The program, I've taken 2 books that I've used throughout my training, the Yoga Sutras and the Yoga Gita. Mm-hmm. And these 2 books explain how to maintain peace throughout life and how to be productive in what you do. Okay. So I took these 2 books and I took about 20 passages from each book and put them into the course. And I took the passages that resonated with me. These are the ones that gave me the strength, that helped me find the truth, that helped me see. I took those ones and I put them into the course. So the course, essentially, we meet for practice because you need to do the practice to be physically strong, right? To get through what you have to get through, right? And be mentally strong to do that too. So the courses, we meet, we do a yoga practice, we do a meditation practice, but then there's a portal, you go in and you have daily readings, you have homework, you have journaling, you practice negatives to positives, you practice daily meditation. It's that and more. We also go into nutrition a little bit, a yogic meal, right? Take 1 meal a day where you're just enjoying your meal, not thinking about this, writing an email, sending a text message, just 1 meal. It's a way to be at peace, right? And enjoy maybe your coffee. So we look at a lot of things in the program, but essentially I took all of the keys that gave me what I needed to build the strength, to find my truth, to navigate some really turbulent times in my life. And I packaged it all in a way that's really easy for people to comprehend and grow from.
I love that. And that your approach that I know from taking classes with you is that you do keep things simple so that it is easy to follow. And for that, I'm so thankful for. So what I'd love for you to share is, and I will share with anyone listening, if you can just share right now your website. What is your website?
My website is Jade. You know what? I'm not going to give you my website. That's not where.
But where do we find it?
You find it. If you go to my Instagram,
okay,
Pure Jade Alexis, Pure Jade Alexis. It's in the link in my bio. You click on that, and the first thing is my course, Discover Your Truest, Strongest Self. Right? So just go to my Instagram, click on the link in my bio. You'll see the course, Discover Your Truest, Strongest Self. And what I've done for you and for all your people is I've created a discount code. So it's $200 off the program. All right. And just enter your Jamie's last name, McFaden. Spell it for us, McFaden. So just enter that all caps and you'll get $200 off. The course runs seasonally, so you'll have to check the website. I don't have my January dates yet, but there will be a new session for the new year.
Amazing. Okay, great. So, and thank you so much for doing that. So now, as we wrap this up, we're just going to do it's a speed round. I'm going to ask you questions and you're just going to answer first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready? Here we go. Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Least favorite exercise?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. I have to think what comes to mind. Rowing.
Favorite exercise?
Pull-ups.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Heal the world.
Mine too. And your karaoke song?
Oh, crisscross, jump, jump.
Yeah. Hang out with you. Let's go do some karaoke. Well, on that note, Jade, thank you so very much for taking the time today to share this valuable information with all of us. I'm so thankful for everyone joining What's the Word. Please stay tuned. We'll be sharing more information about Jade and her yoga program. So please stay in touch. Jade, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was my honor and my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You are amazing. Well, I hope to see you sometime soon, sometime in the near future. Mwah.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me here at What's the Word. Follow us on social media with the links on the screen, and don't forget to like and share with your friend. Your support helps us grow and continue to make inspirational content. See you next time on What's the Word.